Great.
Hello, everybody. I'll call our regular public council meeting for Monday, April 19th, 2021 to order. First item on the agenda is new business. Councillor Glenn.
Just thanks.
Councillor Pollard.
Pass.
Councillor Thorngas.
Thanks.
Councillor Roach.
I don't know what everybody's thinking about, I'll think for them too.
Okay. Councillor Martin.
Pass.
Pass. And just got my thanks. No questions, Ann? Okay. Could I get a motion to adopt the agenda as amended, please?
So moved.
Second.
Moved, seconded, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, carried. All right, we have I just wanted to let people know that we're still operating under our COVID protocols, so the public is not allowed to attend our meetings yet in person. Hopefully that'll be sooner rather than later we get back to normal, but in the meantime, if you have questions that you would like to ask, you can send them in before the meeting. If it's something on your mind that you want to ask a question about, or during the meeting, if you hear something that you'd like to ask clarification or for follow-up, feel free to send an email to apico@torbay.ca, and we'll do our best to answer it in the second Q&A session at the end of the meeting. So, with that out of the way, I would say there's a set of public council minutes here for April 5th, 2021. Could I get a motion to adopt those, please?
So moved.
Second.
Moved, seconded. Questions or comments? Great, seeing none. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. Okay, proclamations, presentations, Q&A. We don't have any Q&A, we don't have any presentations, but we do have some proclamations. And first one is 2021 Miles for Smiles Child Abuse Prevention Month Proclamation, and I believe Councillor Pollard has that one.
Thank you, Your Worship. Whereas children are the foundation for a prosperous and innovative society, and the foundation for a child's growth and development is established when the community takes responsibility for creating healthy environments where our children can thrive. Whereas all children deserve to have a safe, stable, nurturing home and community to foster their healthy growth and development. Whereas child abuse and neglect is an important societal concern that may affect the long-term health and well-being of not only children, but also the adults they become. Whereas child abuse and neglect impacts our entire society and our society's future. Whereas child abuse prevention is a shared responsibility and finding solutions requires the involvement and collaboration of citizens, organizations, and government entities. Whereas this month we emphasize the importance of understanding the devastating problem of child abuse and neglect and commit to learn more about the behavioral and physical signs of possible abuse.
Therefore, I, Mayor Craig Scott, do hereby proclaim the month of April 2021 to be Child Abuse Prevention Month in the town of Torbay, and urge all citizens to work together to help reduce child abuse and neglect significantly in years to come. So moved.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Comments? I think that, as I say with all the proclamations we do, it's important that the town of Torbay do these and raise awareness for various causes, and certainly child abuse is one that everybody can get behind, and it's a time to eliminate that from our society, and I think it's good that the town of Torbay we're doing our part to raise awareness. So with that, I guess call the question. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Carried. Thank you. The next one is Earth Day 2021. I think Councillor Glant has that one.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Whereas Earth Day is celebrated annually to celebrate the beauty of our planet, recommit to actions to promote a healthy environment, and to maintain a peaceful, just, and sustainable world. And whereas Earth Day was first celebrated in 1970 in the United States, has since grown to be a worldwide day of environmental action, And whereas the town of Torbay has partnered with Earth Day Canada and multiple municipalities across the country to meet the goals of Earth Day. And whereas the town of Torbay is pledging to plant a minimum of 50 trees this year by way of providing the seeds to our senior citizens to start the growth, and collaborating with local youth on jointly planting those seedlings during Environmental Week, June 2021. Whereas the town of Torbay has committed to reducing greenhouse gas emissions by having installed 36 solar panels on the roof of Town Hall in 2020, and whereas the town is striving to become carbon neutral by 2050. And whereas the town of Torbay and our citizens, organizations, and businesses are showing dedicated and continued leadership on environmental issues by promoting wetland conservation, habitat and coastline protection, waste prevention, and climate change adaptation planning. Whereas through a multi-platform campaign, we now invite Torbay citizens to engage their daily habits and take action to benefit the environment. And whereas over the month of April 2021, we invite our children, youth, residents, and businesses to join in by taking concrete action, both alone and at home and together, for the benefit of the town we share. And whereas we are keeping our distance at home, but are collectively taking action for our community and our planet.
Now therefore, on behalf of the Council of the Town of Torbay and on behalf of the citizens of Torbay, I hereby proclaim April 22nd, 2021 as Earth Day. So moved.
Second.
Comments?
Just got a question on that one.
Sure.
And I don't know what committee or where that's going to go back to. This is something, there's a fine line between them. But the town is pledging to plant 50 trees by way of providing the seeds to our senior citizens to start the growth. Who's coordinating that, or is that something community services will be doing, or?
I think Director Schwartz might have some information on that, do you? Or Councillor Glenn
Yeah,
can
no,
answer that.
I can speak to it. And correct me if I'm wrong, Director, but I believe the partnership with the seniors, the rec department's going to coordinate that, and I think there is a there's a separate initiative with regards to some of the stuff that the planning and infrastructure is doing. Is that correct?
Yeah, so this 50 seed, the seed thing is through Recreation Community Services. Plus planning has something, or Public Works, that we've been working with Lions Club too about trees this year too.
Yeah.
So that's
Yeah.
just additional.
Yeah, I inquired about that. It was just they're separate initiatives. So
Yeah.
so one is by us and one's through Lions.
So it's all good. And is that answer your question, Mary?
Yeah, and the other thing there on that one is either April 22nd, it's either Wednesday or Thursday, because the 22nd is Thursday. So before that goes out, we need to get that,
This proclamation?
yeah,
Okay. All right.
okay, just in case, we're bringing it up now, because, well, we'll never think about it after.
Typo.
All right. Good.
Typo and a proclamation. No worries.
All right, any other comment? I think that a lot of the stuff that's in that proclamation that Councillor Glant read out, that steps that the town is after taking with regards to the solar panels and our commitment to 2050 is all very good things. I think that, a number of years ago, not too long ago, not many people really gave that much consideration to the environment. And now everything is related to the environment, no matter what it is that you do. So I think that over the last number of years, we've taken a lot of steps with regards to electric chargers for cars and low electricity lights, and improving heating systems and stuff like that, and insulation around here at the town hall. I think there's a lot of positive steps. So, it's very good. And Earth Day is not just one day; it's all the time.
Just try to add on to that, just very briefly, and I agree with what you said, Mr. Mayor. We've come a long, long way. I remember when I first got on council, trying to promote recycling in Torbay. Again, it wasn't that long ago we didn't even have recycling, and there was people sitting around. So, I remember being pointed to in the back, said, "Listen, kid, there'll never be recycling in the town of Torbay." I was like, okay. So it was like my first day on the job, so I didn't fight back too much. But I was like, we'll find out now. And what? No. I was telling an anecdotal story. That wasn't you, Peggy. But basically there was lots of. It was a change at the time. Change could be scary, and of course as the world changes, we've been. I think we've done our. Certainly done our fair share of keeping up with our wetland stewardship agreements. Like I said, even the solar panels and all that have been really good, and we've got good recycling, and we've got lots of really environmentally conscious residents. So, yeah, so
All right.
it's all
Sound
good.
Call the question. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Carried. Thank you. And there's one more proclamation for Volunteer Week. Councillor Thorngoss, take it away.
Okay, National Volunteer Week, April 18th to 24th, 2021. Whereas 12.7 million Canadian volunteers give their time to help others, contributing close to 2 billion volunteer hours per year. And whereas volunteers of the town of Fort Bay mentor our children, feed our hungry, comfort our lonely, beautify our green spaces, and fundraise for our charitable organizations. And whereas volunteers in the town of Fort Bay have stepped up during the COVID-19 pandemic to support families, friends, neighbors, and strangers, people standing up to systematic racism, and people sharing insights on how to create a more just and equitable society. And whereas the town of Fort Bay volunteers are young, old, families, workers, retirees, men and women of all ages and backgrounds. And whereas the collective result of the work done by our town volunteers is that Fort Bay is a more desirable place to live. And whereas organizations in Fort Bay rely on volunteers and include many fundamental organizations.
And now therefore, I, Craig Scott, Mayor of the Town of Torbay, do hereby proclaim April 18th to the 24th, 2021 as National Volunteer Week, and urge my fellow citizens to recognize the crucial role played by volunteers in our community. So moved.
Second,
Comments?
I'd just like to, thank all of our volunteers. And there's so many, you don't have to single out anyone, but I mean, it's so important to the operation of our town. And I think that we don't appreciate and say thank you enough, so.
Oh, bless you, bless you.
That note,
Anyone else?
Sure, just, in sequence with that, I guess, and I won't repeat, I usually make sure I thank all the volunteers at least once a year when I do speak, the few times that I do. I think that their impact is really underestimated. We would not have half the things we have in this world if it wasn't for volunteers. And, you can look at anything, even aspects of majority of paid work has volunteer associations with it somewhere along the way, and people. So without them, certainly, our children wouldn't have all the minor sports that they have, all the opportunities that they have, outside regular work hours that people keep. Just all the support organizations that are on the go all the time, and whenever any need comes up, volunteers always step forward, and it's absolutely fantastic. And I just want to extend my thanks as well to volunteers.
Anyone else?
I'd just like to say thank you as well to all volunteers. We certainly appreciate everything, especially with all the community outreach in the midst of the pandemic. Thank you.
Okay. All right, well, I am going to single out somebody, even though we don't like to do that, but last week or the week before, the Torbay Volunteer Fire Department celebrated 47 years here in the town, and that is a level of commitment to safety, and that's really helped our town move forward. It doesn't diminish the volunteerism that other people do. It's just a matter of fact that fire department has been there for so long, and the number of hours they put in, and the people that they help. And I always say, if you want to get somebody to volunteer, ask the busiest person that you know, because that seems to be the people that are out volunteering is the ones that we run into, and I'm grateful for everything that they all do. So with that, we'll call the question. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. Thank you. Business arising. Any business arising from the last set of council minutes? Okay, seeing none. Oh, mayor's report. I skipped that. Just got a quick report. We had a meeting last week with Wood Group came in here and give us a presentation on our progress so far on our water study of Great Pond. The deputy, or the acting CAO, that's a function, that's your function there. Okay. Next one is from St. John's District Labour Council, National Day of Mourning. This is the one usually we do at Confederation Building, right? Where we go out and we lay a wreath, so I've been going there for the last number of years to do that. So it looks like this year they're going to be doing a virtual one. So we'll have a look at that, and see how we're going to go about that. All right, thank you. Any questions on any of them or comment other than Councillor Thorngas? No? All right. Moving right along. Committees of Council, Committee of the Holders, Committee of the Whole minutes for April 12th. Could I get a motion to adopt those, please?
So moved.
Moved.
Second.
Seconded. Any question, any comment or questions? Errors, omissions, I should say.
Just quick, I know we talked about the committee of the whole stuff. How many agenda items were on the committee of the whole again this week? Last week?
This week,
Or last committee of the whole?
there was water things, and then HR items.
Right, there's
Two things.
Yeah, just, again, just trying to remind us of our policy. We should, if we're not going to follow the policy, we should change the policy, because it seems like we do committee of the whole stuff. There's get multiple items there, and
Right.
it ends up being a substitute for committee work, and we're trying to make decisions, by 7 and stuff like that. Anyway, that's not what the committee of the whole was intended to do, and it's not a too big a grievous offense or whatever. But I'm just saying if we want to have effective committee of the whole meetings, we should limit it to what we said we were going to limit it to.
Yeah, right.
Or change the policy, right?
I hear you.
Follow the policy, change it.
It's a recommendation, right? So, I mean, certain times we have to add things or subtract things. Sometimes we might have a meeting at all, so I hear your point.
Your worship, just on the day of mourning, the laying of the wreath, there's a crossover that day and date again.
Okay, before,
Wednesday's 28th, Tuesday, so it's either Tuesday or Wednesday.
okay, so before we do that, let us deal with these minutes first. Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye, opposed, carried. So the date is wrong on that too, Tony? Okay.
It refers to last year.
Oh, I see, okay. Can you make a note of
So
that?
it is the April 28th, I guess, on
All right, can you make a note of that, Ann, please?
Wednesday.
Okay, thank you. Holy moly, Buzz, everybody some attentive tonight?
There was 4 items on the committee of the whole too, not 2. It was 4.
Okay. There were, anyway, we're moved on from that now.
I have 9 more questions on the.
No, we don't want to have no more questions on it. All right, committees of council, plan and land use and development, Councilor Martin.
Thank you. I have a motions report first, which I'm going to address. I do apologise in advance if there's a lot of information to consume, but we've got a lot going on. So, this is taken from our planning committee of April 13 to bring forward to tonight's meeting. The first order of business is the Kennedy's Brook Amendment, excuse me, an amendment to Phase 1 subdivision agreement, which is development of 2 additional lots, associated land swap, and open space conveyances, Bourne's Holding Limited. The background, the town's in receipt of a written request and associated engineering drawings as submitted by Bourne's Holdings Limited, requesting an amendment to the existing Kennedy's Brook Phase 1 subdivision development agreement to be able to add 2 additional residential lots facilitated by an associated exchange of approximately 1,098 meters squared of town-owned property for approximately 9,186 meters squared of open space land currently in Bourne Holdings ownership, as well as an associated conveyance of a 3-meter wide walkway right-of-way with the 15-meter buffer of the brook connecting Clare's Place with the Meadow east of Bourne's Close, a detailed background report and Planning Land Use Development Committee minutes are attached for reference and form part of this motion. So I have a couple of updates here before we get into the motion, and the first one is from our March 30th committee meeting, and we discussed the associated background report is in general support of the proposed amendment to minimum to Phase 1 agreement, as well as the associated land exchange and conveyances, and request that this matter be forwarded to the upcoming public meeting of Council with recommendation of approval. The committee and the Department of Planning and Development, Director Schwartz, consulted with the Department of Infrastructure and Public Works Director Winter to clarify the responsibility for the actual construction of the walkway, as well to ensure that any walkway in the area is developed in concurrence with the town's recreation master plan and long-term strategy for walkway development. I have another update, which was since the March 30th meeting to our April 1st meeting. Director Schwartz and Director Winter discussed the matter from April 1st, or on April 1st, pardon me. Both departments note that the developers agreed to constructing the walkway to Grand Concourse standards, which is seen as a great opportunity for the town to connect this neighbourhood to Torbay Road in the future to the Jack Byrne Arena. Subject to the town's engineering consultant inspecting the walkway construction, both departments concur in recommending that the town proceed as proposed by the developer and see the walkway constructed as part of the proposed amendment to the agreement. On April 5th, Council, and at its public meeting of April 5th, 2021, deferred the decision on this matter and requested further information. So I'm more of a timeline now than updates, and we'll soon be getting into the updates. April 6th, Director Schwartz provided a written update on general subdivision review process to Council members on April 6th. April 13th, the developer submitted a cost estimate for the walkway construction of over $31,500 plus HST. In addition, the developer committed to completing said sidewalk during the 2021 construction season and to submitting a refundable security deposit over the estimated amount. They further confirmed that the refundable deposit and completion of the walkway be included in the required amendment to the development agreement. Please refer to the attached background report for confirmation of the same. Recommendation is based on the information submitted to date. The committee supports moving forward with amending the content and agreement accordingly. Therefore, the following motion is tabled. Motion as presented is motion to amend and add a minimum to the Kennedy's Brook Phase 1 subdivision development agreement so the developer can add 2 additional residential lots in Bourne's Close cul-de-sac. This is being facilitated through the exchange of approximately 1,098 meters squared of town-owned property for approximately 9,186 meters squared of open space land currently in Bourne Holdings ownership. Excuse me. Bullet 2, the conveyance of a 3-meter wide walkway right-of-way from Bourne Holdings to the town connecting Clara's Place to the Meadow east of Bourne's Close. Bullet 3, the developer constructing a 2-meter wide walkway built to Grand Concourse standards with said walkway right-of-way during the 2021 construction season. Bullet 4, the developer submitting a $31,500 plus HST refundable security deposit in connection with the walkway construction to the town. And final bullet 5, all costs associated with the proposed changes to the subdivision agreement, including land conveyances, walkway construction, and inspections, being that of the developer. So moved.
Second.
And I would like to say, before it goes into question or debate, there is additional information attached in the package with some information brought forward from requested information at our last public meeting for reference.
All right, mover and seconder. Questions? Comment? Go ahead.
Okay. Just going to say a couple quick things. First of all, good job, committee, getting the extra information that that was required. Much appreciated. I'm glad that we've I'm just going to confirm stuff. You know, apologies for the delay, but not apologizing for doing our jobs. Make sure the I's are crossed and the I's are dotted, right, for this. So again, I think this is a great deal for everybody. So this is, we have a deposit for it, we've got a schedule for it, completion. It's going to be also part of the overall subdivision agreement. Last question, and please tell me the right answer for this. Please, please, please tell me there's a good answer for this. Are we sure we can build the trail where they say it was, where it said it was in the 15-meter buffer for the waterway? So I just want to make sure, again, just for everyone's, so everyone's going to open eyes. Can we do it within the buffer, and is the terrain okay to do that? Have we confirmed that we can actually physically construct that trail in there without any undue hardship on the developer for doing this?
It's my understanding we can. I'd like to defer to Director Short for the technicalities to confirm.
So all the site detailing would still have to occur, right? Because the snow was down up to now, and they would have to obtain a permit from environment. So that referral already occurred. So we're just waiting to hear back from them. So, yeah.
They did go and visit, she did go and visit the site with the contractor who's going to build the trail. So I'm assuming they went and looked at it. He knows where he can build and then give her a price based on that. So, you know.
So
There are no detailed site drawings right now, right? So at this point, basically, the request is to get the general go-ahead for it, and then they're going to have to do the site detailing and getting the permit from environment.
So I guess
Yeah.
the only thing here is what happens if we go, okay, everything's done, like hopefully this will be in 7 minutes. We go there and, oh no, this terrain is too slopey, or it's too rocky, or it's not compatible with putting in this $35,000 walkway. What happens then? Then that land in behind becomes as useless as, right? It's a piece of land we can't get to. I'm just wondering. I know I hate, I almost feel bad asking these questions, but they got to be asked.
Director?
I mean, I would assume like many a trail was built in the corridor of the river buffer. So, and the developer did go with the contracting company who was going to build the trail for them, and they said that should cover that. And I'm assuming it's all going to go ahead. If it's not going to go ahead, then we would have to come back to council.
And that's the logical route with this. I mean, this is something that even in West Compound, go in, you look at this, this is given as, I guess, in principle. If something should happen, well, then we need to bring it back to council because it's something that's not doable.
Right.
As it is right here, this is as much information as we can get until we actually go down to look at putting it in. So, to me, it's,
Anyway, it's my 2 cents worth.
Anyone else? All right. Oh, call the question. All right. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
Thank you. The next one is not as long or detailed, but rescinding of stop work order for 14 and 19 Gallows Cove Road. Background: the committee was advised that following the stop work order issued against the developer of 14 and 18 Gallows Cove Road in November of 2020, the developer has completed drilling a replacement artesian well at 22 Gallows Cove Road and decommissioned the surface well. The developer has also submitted all required sign-offs for the new well, with the exception of the final service annual inspection, which is expected to be submitted any moment. The developers fulfilled their obligation to address the matter of the contaminated well, to the town's satisfaction, and request a stop work order is lifted so they can continue with destruction of the home at 14 Gallows Cove Road. The recommendation is the committee discussed this matter and concurs with the department's recommendation of lifting the stop work order for 14 and 18 Gallows Cove Road. This is once Service NL confirms satisfactory completion of the new drilled well at 22 Gallows Cove Road, and subject to the developer paying the fee for getting the order lifted. It is in accordance with the town's rates and fee schedule. Therefore, the following motion is tabled: motion to lift the stop work order against 14 and 18 Gallows Cove Road once the town receives Service NL final inspection sign-off for the drilled well and the developer paid associated fees. So moved.
Second.
Mover and seconder. Questions?
So in summary, everyone's happy?
But the developer will be when he can start and finish his project.
All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Yes.
Opposed? Carried.
Excuse me. The next one is a home office in connection with a used automobile sale business, which is discretionary use at 6 Pinch Creek Place, which is a residential large lot use zone. Application BR 2021-002. Background: the town of Torbay is in receipt of an application proposing to establish a home office in connection with a used auto sales business. They will purchase one vehicle at auction for subsequent online resale. There will be no on-site repair, no public sales. All sales conducted online. And viewing is by appointment only. There is no signage proposed. A detailed background report and Planning Land Use Development Committee minutes are attached for reference and form part of this motion report. And the recommendation is presented as the committee reviewed associated background report and noted that while there was one representation received in opposition to the proposal, that the applicant has been transparent about their plans, that they are planning on purchasing and selling one vehicle at a time only, with a maximum of 3 to 4 visits by appointment per week only. This is not expected to cause any noticeable increase of traffic in the neighbourhood. In addition, no vehicle repairs are proposed and the vehicles are kept in the garage. In light of considerations, the committee is supportive of the proposal and recommends conditional approval in keeping with standard requirements for home-based business in Torbay. Therefore, the following motion is tabled. Motion as presented is motion to conditionally approve application BR 2021-002 in accordance with regulations 33 and 90 of the Torbay Development Regulations 2015 to 2025, and to issue a conditional approval for a home office in connection with a used automotive online sales business at 6 Pinch Creek. So moved.
Second.
Mover and seconder. Questions? No? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
Next one is a single dwelling at 5 Motion View Close, which is a residential large lot use zone. Application C 2021-036. This one's an interesting one. The background: the town of Torbay is in receipt of an application proposing the construction of a single dwelling on lot 13, civic number 5 of Motion View Close. The lot is located in and forms part of the Motion Estates Phase 3 subdivision development. Commonly, this application will not require a review by committee or council. However, as council is aware, some area residents of Motion View Close and Motion Drive have raised concerns about shale rock emanating from the shoreline located immediately to the north of Motion View Close. Hence, this file is tabled for decision by council. Please refer to a very detailed background report and planning committee minutes, which are attached for reference and which form part of this motion. Recommendation as presented is the committee considered the application in accordance with Regulation 10 of the Torbay Development Regulations, particularly in light of concerns raised by some area residents regarding shale rock emanating from the adjacent coastline during certain weather conditions. The committee noted that the lot is located in an area with an existing subdivision development agreement co-signed between the developer and the town. It does not appear that the town can determine if there would be any effect of shale rock on this particular property or not, and the natural elements are outside of the town's control. The proposal is in compliance with the subdivision development agreement in effect, as well as it meets the existing municipal plan designation, general plan policies, and land use zone requirements in effect. The subject property is not located in the conservation zone nor in the shoreline habitat management unit associated with the coastline. The East Coast Trail is located between the northern boundary of the subject property and the coastline. Upon careful review of the above, the committee supports the proposal and recommends considering the application in accordance with Regulation 10, providing council with the authority to conditionally approve or refuse an application. Therefore, the committee is tabling the following motion. And the motion as presented is motion to issue a conditional approval in principle for the development of a single dwelling at 5 Motion View Close. This is at Council's discretion, and upon detailed review and consideration of the proposal, as outlined in associated background documentation, in keeping with Regulation 10 of the Torre Bay Development Regulations 2015 to 2025, so moved.
Moved to seconder. Comments? Go ahead.
Okay. Got some concerns, but got some questions I'm going to ask. Just why is this being brought back for discretionary vote? A discretionary vote, which means we can say yes or no, right?
Well, at a committee level, Director Shorts did seek some guidance on it, and it was determined that it's best for Council's direction. While analysing all of those components, after we conclude it, it appears from a legal perspective and from our mandate perspective that we're within our boundaries to proceed. We don't really, as I say, they were in the background report, we don't have any control over the prospective shale, if it will come up or not. And the development, the proposed dwelling is farther back than the other houses. So after we looked into those components, that's what we had collaboratively determined.
Okay. So I'm just going to, actually, instead of asking a question, I'm just going to say, so it's being brought back for discretion, obviously because there's potential for future litigation, right? In case shale does go up, let's say obviously, take it all, put your legal filter on, whatever. But, obviously there's some type of risk for responsibility. So it's not just, we're not going to just issue this and came back here. So council gets to take a closer look to make sure, right? Protect us liable, right? But if there's an increased chance of liability, that means there's obviously that there's going to have to be a reason for that liability. So obviously there's some fear that we're going to be liable for something, which means there's some fear, some risk that there is some type of danger there with regards to the flying shale rocks for damage of property and potentially persons and stuff like that, right? So, because I find out that we'll come back here if it's fine and safe to go do it, but if we're just bringing it back like this, we're almost admitting to ourselves that there is some type of potential liability for it, and that just makes me wonder whether it's the proper spot to build houses. And I guess one of the things we're going to be doing with our discretion, that means that hey, we're taking this back and we're doing our due diligence, right? And we say that we did a detailed review of it, because if not, then we'll just get appealed, and we got to prove that, right? So, in part of your review, just so we can quantify and qualify the risk, I guess, to building more houses in the area where there's known things. How many incidents of shale have been reported?
All right,
So it's only been 2.
all right, just yes.
That's what I want to know what was the damages.
It's all in a report somewhere, but I know that there's 2 houses that have received damages that I'm aware of.
Right. I didn't see that listed there. It's part of the research.
Director Shorts, would you be able to speak to some of the legal direction that you received?
So I know there was.
Councillor Gallant is
Yeah, because I know there was incidents of, there was in the papers, and it was on TV and stuff like that, right? I remember a couple of times, but I also remember there was follow-up times. I want to know, was it 2 times? Was it 10 times? Was it 100 times? I can't remember.
Before anybody speaks to legal, we need to go in camera.
Yeah, just hang on for a second now. I think that we can get your question answered with regards to how many instances or whatever, but we don't need to speak to any legal advice that the town received.
Yeah, no, I haven't seen any legal opinion like that. I'm just going off Phyllis in the package. I'm just going down the logical trail of why this is being brought for discretion, and make sure that
Mayor, could I propose we call a brief recess so we can?
I don't think that
Have
we
an
need to.
in-camera discussion.
I don't think that we need to. This is just a basic motion. Director?
Yeah, I just wanted to add, basically, in general, the file would not come forward to council because it's a permitted use in a permitted zone and a permitted land use zone designation, and the permit would be issued in-house. However, as you're aware, there have been area residents, including the home next door to this particular lot, where there have been concerns raised. So last year, a meeting was held with area residents there in the field, and there was 4 homeowners who had voiced their concerns. So we met with them and looked at, so there was property damage to their home. However, this particular lot is a little bit further to the east and south, and when reviewing the setback from the property, well, from the zoning, from the shoreline to the property boundaries, over 30 meters, which is in keeping with the minimum that's required under the municipal plan policy, to keep away 30 meters from the shoreline, plus the home itself would be another 15 meters with a rear yard requirement. So the home itself would be approximately 45 meters away from the shoreline. However, when reviewing this matter, basically because staff are aware of this issue with the shale rock having been reported by the neighbors, basically this is brought forward for a decision by council versus to issue a permit on staff level. So that's why it's being tabled for your consideration and decision.
Councillor Gallant, have you, the information presented, does that adequately answer your question, or do we need to go take a recess to go in on the legal opinion?
I'm just concerned about shale incidents potentially occurring in that area, and I know that there has been a history of it. I can't for life of me, I can't remember the specifics of the quantity and the severity, right? So I wanted to bring that up, and just seeing how this is being done slightly differently has raised some flags in my head, right? So I just wanted to ask those questions about the diligence that was paid towards it. And my main concern with any of this stuff is to make sure that I just want to make sure that our residents are safe, and that we build in areas that are safe. And if there's no risk there, then that we've gone through and said, no, actually we checked off, there is no risk, right? Or there whatever, and we're all clear on the same page, right? Because no one, and again, I'm not saying that there is or there isn't. I just want to say I haven't seen it. I'm just worried. I'm just concerned about putting more houses potentially in the way of shale rock.
Okay, all right, thank you. Just, all right, hang on for a second. You're done, right?
Yeah, this
okay, all right, thank you.
Summary.
Councillor Roach?
I think I don't see a problem with it because we can't predict the future. It's not a whole lot of houses going in, it's one property. And, and the neighbors can be funny if they want, certain things going next door to one and all this stuff. But we have to give the benefit of the doubt to this because, who can predict the future? All the shoreline down there, there's people everywhere on the ships and all that stuff. If we were, thought that, oh my God, there's going to be waves coming and take them out. I think it's crazy. I think like we should have had an council or something like that, whatever it's called. But, I think it's crazy in terms of that.
All right, thank you. Councillor Pollard?
Thank you, Your Worship. I kind of echo the same concerns that Councillor Gallant echoed in terms of if this was not something that was questionable, it wouldn't have come back the same way. So as soon as it comes back this way, for a normal approval process means, hey, there's a red flag here associated with it somewhere along the way. The fact that we're guessing that it's, and I don't know who saves harmless. I think that if development goes ahead, the developers should save the town harmless from potential damage, knowing that there's damage to houses in the same subdivision in other areas. We didn't know that when the other houses were approved. It's something that happens after the fact. We don't know what's going to happen here, but there's probably a good chance that by us putting this in, there may be indeed shale, and that is an incident or something that happens there, and it has been brought forward on a number of occasions. And I don't know where we stand in terms of, what people are saying against us, whether or not there's any libelous claims or anything along those lines. My fear would be that approving this, because of the process, the way it comes back, raises a red flag and just puts us in jeopardy of going down that need to have to, go to the legal route at some point down the road for it. I could approve it if we were saved harmless from it, if the developer said, we realize and we're going to have insurance, one-time insurance to protect the town from any damages for this particular house at this particular time, something along those lines. But I can't sit here and, because it's an anomaly. This should have gone through. When I looked at it first, my thought was, why is this coming back to council and use Regulation 10? When it is something we can't turn down because it's approvable in the plan itself. There's nothing out of the ordinary there, except that now we have an issue with potential shale, which raises that red flag at this point in time. I have a problem, but I don't even know what the answer is to it, but I see red flags all over the place unless we can be saved harmless from the developer or the person who puts the house there.
Councillor Goss?
I just look at this whole one, and it's after this development has been approved in principle already with that particular developer. And the property is located on the north side of Motion View and constitutes one of the last properties to be developed on this cul-de-sac as part of the subdivision development. The town holds a collateral mortgage on the subject property and collateral engineering deposit to ensure completion of public works. Once the public works are completed to town satisfaction, the collateral mortgage can be released. I mean, the fact that this is one of the, or if not the last one on that cul-de-sac, that potentially we've already approved it in principle, and I guess the onus is not on us to go back, it's on the developer to look at it from his particulars. The other thing with this, why we brought it back, is anything that I guess is not straightforward, the committee brings it back to all of council to be aware of if there's any issues or what have you with it, so that they feel comfortable, rather than committee just making the decision and approving the permit.
Okay, fair enough.
And the other thing with that, I just want to add that there is issues down there, and it's an ongoing discussion that our director is having with the owners down there, and I guess to see, what the responsibilities are or what can be done down there regarding that shale, that with the meetings that will take place. It's an ongoing topic with the committee.
All right, thank you. I guess,
Ask another little question, Marty.
go ahead.
Is there anything council can do to make the shales pure?
We've been looking at it. That's something that the planning department has been investigating.
So,
Okay.
you have an update on that or anything like that?
No, that's what I was just referring
It's an
to.
ongoing matter, yeah.
All right, so I guess from my point of view, I guess I understand why committee brought this back to council, so that now it's in the public arena, that we do know, and it's been commented on before around this table, that there are potential issues down around that particular area with shale rock flying on the cliff. And I don't know how many houses are down there, but I do know that there's more than just the couple that are next to that particular area. So, I appreciate the fact that that committee felt that they wanted to let council have a say on this, and that's fine. I don't have a problem with that. And I think that the way to do that was using the discretionary process. So, I'm fine with that. So,
I'd like to make a motion.
go ahead.
I'd like to move that we approach the developer and get them to find us legally harmless for any damage to property persons that may occur at this house site property that we're thinking about approving right now.
Got a motion. A seconder?
Second?
Seconder? Comment?
Just like to speak to it real fast.
Go ahead.
Again, just it's tough questions, people, right? And this is a real thing. This is like health and safety and looking after the corporation, the town, right? I can't see why we wouldn't go back to the developer to get that done. If it's safe and it's fine, then there's no reason why we wouldn't be found harmless in that, and that way we protect our taxpayers' money and our consciences and stuff like that. And then, like I said, if it's safe and there's no problem, then we'll have no problem doing that. So I can't see I can't see why we would not do this.
Director Schwartz has information relevant to this. I think we need to recess.
Go ahead.
I was just going to suggest, I mean, when the town issues a conditional approval, or if council decides to issue conditional approval, it can certainly be, you have the right to place conditions. So you could include this as one of the conditions in the conditional approval, is to basically hold it's developer, but it's also the future homeowner, right? So the builder and property owner are holding the town free from liability on any concerns around the shale rock, which is a fine. I think it's possible to add that as a condition. Would it hold up? That we don't know, but you can certainly add that as a condition in the approval if you choose to. Whatever the decision is on the matter.
So that, just before we go anywhere, that could be a friendly amendment to the current motion?
Yes.
To add that condition?
Okay, so I'll withdraw my motion. So friendly amendment to the motion to the approval in principle, that the approval in principle is conditioned upon what's the proper words, upon the town being, what's the words? I'm sorry, I'm struggling for my words. Towns being found harmless in any future damages to persons or properties as caused by shale in that location. So moved. Or yeah, I guess the friendly amendment. That's for the record.
Do you accept that as a friendly amendment?
I do, Councillor Strangas, any?
No, I think that's fair enough to
Right,
put that in there as a
acceptable.
condition.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you, Council.
Thank
So I
you.
think it's good. Thank you.
All right.
Can I add, upon checking with legal, that is something that is ultimately enforceable at the end of the day? Something on those lines? We can walk away, say it is. I don't know if it is or it isn't. I certainly agree with the friendly amendment, but we check with legal to see if that would make sense. If not, we're back here again to vote on this.
If it's not enforceable, it's not enforceable, right?
Well, I guess the point of that friendly amendment is if it's not enforceable, then we're not going to do the.
Right.
We're not going to give the approval in principle. So I guess friendly amendment to confirm that this, again, our legal opinion said this is something that can be enforced. So A, that it's included, and B, we confirm that's enforced, and then C, go ahead and build, right? Is that confusing?
I think you should prove it in principle.
All right, hang on.
We just added.
So Mr.
Okay,
Mayor,
so we're going to add
read
that,
back.
we're going to add that condition as a friendly amendment. All right, so, Ann, can you read the motion back, please, with that amendment in there? Did you make note of that? Sorry.
This is the first, for me, it's not.
How about, Julia, could you do that? Read it back with the amendment in there?
So the motion right now reads, motion to issue conditional approval in principle for the development of a single dwelling at 5 Motion View Close, and to ensure, and to add a condition that the town is held free from liability from any potential future property damage from the shale rock. This is at council's discretion, and upon detailed review and consideration of the proposal as outlined in associated background documentation in keeping with Regulation 10 of the Torbay Development Regulations 2015 to 2025.
All right, thank you. So,
Legally binding. somewhere in that, please. So we got to check with legal.
I'll confirm and check.
Okay, all right. All right, all in favor of the amended motion?
Hi.
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. Thank you.
Okay, I've got about 5 more left now. Just joking, just joking. I did lose my spot. Here we are. The last one is permit listings. The background attached to permit listings for the period of April 5th to April 15th, which form part of this motion. Excuse me, the recommendation is the committee hereby tables the following motion. Motion to accept permit listings for the period of April 5th to April 15th, 2020 is presented. So moved.
Second.
Seconder, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Thank you. And I'd just like to go
Carried.
briefly down to minutes. At our, we had 2 meetings here. On Tuesday, April 13th, we had our 5:30 to 9:15 Zoom meeting. And then myself and Director Schwartz and Councillor Thorne-Goss had a brief meeting Friday evening, April 16th. We discussed the Kennedy's Brook.
Councillor Martin, can I make a quick suggestion? The stuff that you already made motions on,
Yes.
don't go
Yeah.
over it again.
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you. We did discuss that item we just discussed, and we discussed rescinding of the water and that one. There is a status update there on the 51 North Pond Road multi-unit development. We also discussed a Bernice Drive amendment, as well as affordable housing and rural development network. And there's also a FCM, Green Municipal Fund, Sustainable Affording Housing update. Municipal Enforcement Protective Services report is enclosed, and there's some email correspondence there regarding the walkway Marine Drive. Permit listings, action reports, Earth Day proclamation, which we took care of earlier. We do have a Torbay Environment Advisory Committee meeting coming up on the horizon. We also discussed shale rock. There's some land use impact assessment discussion, Great Pond water study, South Pond development inquiry, as well as Canada Post, which the Mayor touched on briefly earlier. And we discussed the wildlife refuge, which the Director is following up with. Our next meeting is on Tuesday, April 27th, and that ends my report.
All right, thank you. Any questions on any of those things in there?
Just one comment. I just want to say thanks to the committee and apologize. Sometimes when planning that gets really busy, there are a lot of contentious issues that come to the plate, and there are a lot of tangles in it and different thought processes. So don't take it any way that we don't appreciate what you do, because we certainly do understand that the complications are there. So I just want to say thanks for that.
Thank
Don't
you.
take any
Appreciate
personal.
that.
And it's even worse when 3 and 4 and 5 of them all come at the same time that you're trying to deal with. I mean, it's just, it's like juggling cats. All right, thank you. Admin and Finance.
Thank you, Your Worship. That means leave me alone, guys.
I got notes made for you.
Anyway, we met a week from yesterday, actually, a week from tomorrow, sorry. Myself and Deputy Mayor and Director Kudla. It's really a short report, again, short in terms of number of motions, but there's a few invoices here that need to be approved, obviously. The Receiver General for February 16, 28 payroll remittance in the amount of $58,454.77. Receiver General for the March 1st to the 15th payroll remittance in the amount of $33,640.43. Trio benefits for the March group benefit remittance in the amount of $13,099.95. CIBC Mellon March pension remittance in the amount of $19,895.84. Newfoundland Power for the February street lighting bill in the amount of $19,935.95. March group electricity bill in the amount of $17,743.80. T2 Ventures for February garbage and recycling contract in the amount of $45,418.81. Commissioners' invoices, there's 4 of them here, ranging from January 10th through March 6th in the amount of $5,152 each. 1, 2, 3, 4, yes there is. Jostle Renewable Employee Internet in the amount of $5,390.03. We asked that that be reviewed so that it might not be a necessity for next year. It has to do with internal communications, and we just have to investigate the usefulness of that. Calibro Insurance, the annual insurance renewal in the final amount of our 3 payments, the amount of $41,366, actually 2 payments. All totaling $270,163.50, so moved.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Comments, questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
Next group are the non-mandatories, I guess. BDO Canada for the Community Centre HST review in the amount of $17,250. And the good news on that is that we got a significant dollar return on that in terms of a couple of $100,000, I do believe, right off the top of my head, for that additional review for the use and taxation of the capital costs associated with the community centre. Stuart McKelvey for a payment on the Quarry legal development in the amount of $29,622.17. We have also asked for a running total on that to know exactly how much we have paid to date on that Quarry development. I'm curious myself, so I think it'd be a good update for council. Anyway, those invoices total $46,872.17, so moved.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Questions?
I just had note there that I'd like to have a breakdown of the quarry development legal to date, and also as well as all engineering costs, whatever that's after taking place to date, just for that portion of it.
For the Quarry?
Yeah.
Yes, sure.
Okay.
I'm curious myself, because that's another substantial invoice. The next motion refers to the...
All in favor?
Sorry.
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
I thought we did it.
It was the motion that town approve
Yes.
Okay.
purchases greater than 5,000 is presented. Okay. There's another one there, Tony, election preparation.
Thank you, Worship. Yeah, yeah. So anyway, we had talked about it earlier there when in the correspondence in terms of the election preparation, and we referred to the software where people can actually go in and take a look and see whether or not they're on the election list or not, or voters list, and update themselves, or at least let us know if they are or aren't there. Hopefully we'll be able to get all that in time. This also is the basic footprint that a number of towns in the area have been using for the ability to do mail-in ballots as well. So it's essentially the base software in the format that if we decide to go with the mail-in ballots, the next layer will be added on to it, some $18,000, I think, for the mail-outs and everything else along those lines. If it comes down that way that we decide as a council to move ahead with that. On that note, sometime between now and, the end of next month or the middle of next month, we have to make a decision on how we're going to move forward from an election perspective, whether we're actually going to go down the mail-in ballot route, I think, for this software to be operable for the next levels, that is. It's just a whole bunch of timeframes come together on this in a short period of time, because it's a new way to do business. Anyway, the motion is that the town of Probay enter into the election management services agreement with Comprint Systems Incorporated for a fee of $6,200 plus HST. So moved.
Second.
Mover, seconder, questions?
I got the question on this after Northeast Avalon Joint Council meeting the other night, when Councillor Patrick Martin of Paradise brought it up and said about the system that they've got to go in and update, and I guess they would update the actual list and what have you for the town. And the fact that Sandy Hounslow wasn't even aware of what Councillor Martin was talking about, I'm just wondering if this could be deferred until we find out, because if one, I guess, did we go and get other quotes, did we look at other companies that could do this, just because we've dealt with them in the past don't necessarily make it the most compatible one that's out there if there's a new company that can do other things. And I guess it just got my attention, like I said, where this director wasn't aware of what Patrick Martin or Councillor Martin had purchased for the town of Paradise. So I'm just wondering what research or what we've done.
Ain't got an update on it. This is the same one, I think. It is.
This is the software that the town has used this past number of elections, and this is the same software. I've just recently attended a meeting with neighboring municipalities, including Paradise, and this is the same
Okay,
software.
perfect. All right.
All right. Councilor Martin?
A good question. So this software is a general election software. Right? It's not exclusive to mail-in voting.
No,
No, okay, because we haven't made that decision yet, so I just
Right.
wanted to make sure we weren't.
This is essentially the management of the voters list, and you can correct me if I'm incorrect in what I'm saying. So this area is essentially the master footprint for all of it, and there is an opportunity for folks to actually go in and see if you're on the voters list, which is a great addition to a
Thank you.
great opportunity.
Okay. Additional questions? Councilor Roach?
How expensive is this new system on houses?
Sorry?
How much more expensive will it be?
For what? For mail-in? It will.
For whatever your plan.
It will depend. I don't really know because I haven't got the information, but it is in the $18,000 range for the whole mail-in creation of the ballots, send out the ballots in the envelope for return, that type of thing. So there's a fair bit of work around it. I mean, there's 3,000, households, so we say, that can vote here. So I mean, there's a fair number of envelopes that have to be stuffed and generated from a database. So.
Bad time for everybody to post office to be gone. Excuse me.
Postage will be extra as well, so. But
Okay. Anybody else? Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
I won't go into the reports. I will say that we will be bringing forward some renewed discussion around the asset management program or asset management plan that we did with KPMG a few years back, and mainly because we want to nail down the dollars that are there for reserves. We have some dollars in the bank that we really should discuss in terms of how we want to move it forward. An asset management plan, part of it, obviously, we need to cover some expenditures on an ongoing basis, and then there is a larger chunk that was put away in GICs and things of that nature that we really need to speak about from an asset manager's perspective, how we want to move forward, and let's probably lay some of that aside and how we want to spend it down and how we want to build it moving forward. So that was essentially where we ended the conversation. And so is my report, Your Worship.
All right, thank you. Anybody have any additional questions?
I went down over the minutes and, okay. And I guess when I looked at them, going down over, then I realized that the dates on the side, they're done up a little bit. Just found some of them hard to follow when I looked at the dates, that they were an agenda item and carrying forward, because you got to look down over all of them to get the last date. And HRLE, what does that mean?
That's essentially social services. Essentially social services, HRLE. I don't know what the exact acronym is now, but anybody who's that social services pays taxes for.
Okay. And the other one is AMP, what does that mean?
Asset management plan.
Okay.
Yeah, human resources, labor, or something like that. I think it's the folks who pay for the group.
What? No, Ann, can you just make a note that Councilor Roach left? Okay, thank you. So what is it everybody wants a recess all the time? Are you going back to school or what?
Have we heard anything, Council Pollard, on Pilot was the other one that I had the question there. What's happening
We haven't, no.
with them? Because we had talked about, I guess, a committee of the whole or what have you a while back about arranging a meeting with them to find out with regards to their files and,
Yeah, they actually reached out looking for a meeting, so Ann was in researching that.
okay, they're looking for a meeting with us?
Yep. And we were looking for one too, so
Yeah.
it kind of came together.
Okay, so do we know when that's supposed to happen, or?
Not yet, no. Sooner rather than later.
Okay,
Anything else?
no.
Sure? Okay. All right, thank
Oh,
you.
I had my notes there.
Oh, forward.
All right, economic development and tourism. Councilor Martin.
Thank you. One moment, please, I lost my spot. Just an update here. We're meeting in the next few days. Some updates here regarding economic development, the Pico Ridge Memorial Project update, as well as the Torbay Business Awards. And I do have an insert here concerning the Torbay Business Awards. And Ms. Lawrence, our Economic Development Officer, has forwarded a committee some updates concerning the way forward with the Business Awards, and they will be coming forward to the rest of Council as well. So keep an eye on your inbox for those updates. We've also there's also an update there on the Economic Strategic Roadmap, the Portugal Cove St. Philip's Chamber partnerships, Rural Development Network, as well as grants and some community requests from volunteer groups. The garden tourism, there's some information in there on that, as well as culture and heritage. Additional items, there's some items there on the Earth Day, as well as the business bulletin, e-newsletter, and funding opportunities. And we're currently confirming our dates for upcoming meetings. And other than that, there's some information enclosed there as well on the business awards with a COVID-19 lens. So that ends the update. Thank you.
Great, thank you. And I guess fit in with this, myself and Economic Development Officer are going to be having a meeting this week with Rick Comfort. He's doing some work on behalf of M&L with regard to economic development, so we're going to get together with him and have a chat this week about how we can be involved in that project. So just figured I'd throw that update in there.
Okay, thank you.
All right, thank you. Any questions? Okay. Infrastructure, Public Works. Councillor Ngaz.
Okay, we had our meeting on April 14th. Myself, Councillor Pollard, and Director Winter. History House, consultants are working on implementation of the interior design. I have a motion here to award the contract to replace the shingles on the Torbay house roof and back porch to Able Roofing Limited in the amount of $9,100 plus HST. This is a budgeted item for this project, so moved.
Second.
Moved, seconded, questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
Stormwater management plan, meeting with PEC later this week. Don't know if this took place. You were going to meet with them?
I did meet with them on Thursday afternoon, and they sent me an email today, so I got more information for our next meeting.
Perfect. The old depot, Director know that he has allotted sometime later the week. That was last week to finish the scope of work, so that's something that's ongoing. And hopefully the document should be ready for not later this month, early May. Flow meters, review feasibility intake is complete and the draft report is forthcoming. Salt and stand storage is something that's ongoing, looking at. Sidewalks, Director gave the committee an overview of that project and provided a committee with an email that he received from Kim Colley, Director of Transportation Infrastructure. And that was something that we felt that it was good to get the information out, and there's an update sent out to council on that, and there'll be more information to come on that. We've got some more work that the director is doing before we know exactly where we're going with regards to some of the issues that were brought forward with regards to the sidewalk update. Traffic calming. I mentioned that we had an email from a resident in North Pond Road, and that we would be reviewing North Pond Road Flemings Hill intersection and see what we can do there with regards to speed calming. Everything else is straightforward there. Anybody got any, oh, I got a, this is put in here precisely for Councillor Glenn. Trail development 2021. How could I miss it? Anyway, I got a motion here. First of all, I guess, well, it's in the motion. I'll just go with the motion. Motion to approve the following trail work for the upcoming 2021 trail development season. Finish off Western Island Pond extension from last year project. Complete repairs on other trails as required. Start on the next phase of Western Island Pond Trail towards the bypass road from the gazebo on Forest River Road. So moved.
Second.
Seconded. Questions?
The wording is correct there, trial, because here it comes now. It is.
Right.
No, I just want to say thank you. Good job, Councillor.
All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
Also, we've got Cannon Marsh Road items. Terminal has been monitoring the property after severe rainfall, and that it was, okay, there's no need of me getting that straightforward. Great Pond Water Study. Got a motion here to give Wood Environment and Infrastructure Solutions the go-ahead to start the next phase of work on the Great Pond Watershed Study, which is to complete an aquatics study on the pond and the stream out of it. The cost of this phase of work is $27,155 plus HST. So moved.
Second.
Moved seconder. Comments?
Can I ask one question on our water quality project? I know it's here in our way too, it's just like, you know what, anyway, and it's getting worse, I think. So I was wondering, is there something that we haven't done with the purifying? Or did you notice the
Wait.
water in there?
We haven't made any changes lately, but we do have an application in with the government for water treatment for North Pond.
Okay, because people will be asking that.
Yeah.
I don't know what.
And I guess the summer,
It's little tea.
I wasn't aware of that. I'll check into it tomorrow. Yeah.
okay. I think, Councillor Roach, to your point, when that happens, if someone has that happen, they should send an email into the town so that director knows where these issues are popping up. Because it might be something that's localized, or it might be something that's not, you know.
It's in here too. It's in here too, you know what I mean? So it's probably doing a big area.
Okay,
Just want to let you know. Thank you.
great, thank you. And, all right, so all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
Emergency preparedness plan, that's been sent out to everybody, so I'd like ask everyone again, council, to look at that if there's anything that you see there required for an update. And I know I've seen some comments already come back on it, and so that we can get back to our director to update and get a final draft or a final copy done up. Storage garage for Torbay Common Building, that's something that's ongoing, and I just wanted to put it in there, and I just wanted residents to, I guess, aware that I had received a call from a resident regarding the the heavy equipment operators, I guess, pushing back some of the sod and what have you on the side of the road for landscaping. And that's something that takes place every year, so if there is some in excess that they need to notify the town about, and it's something that's repairs taking place on an ongoing basis. That's all I have for my report.
All right,
Any questions or anything on any of it?
no, all right,
Okay, perfect.
thank you very much.
Welcome.
Recreation Community Services, Councillor Glenn.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. We had a Recreation and Community Services Committee meeting on Wednesday, April 14th. We had a full committee there. Myself, Councillor Martin, Special Events Coordinator Scott Martin, Youth and Seniors Coordinator Kirk Comben, and Deputy Clerk CEO Ann Pickup. We had several things on the agenda. I guess probably the main thing we talked about was the May and June community program and events calendar, which is attached. There's a I was wondering if council could please have a look through that, and if they have any questions or concerns. Again, we're kind of switching to we're not looking for a big long-term plan with this. This is a little bit of a one-off. Just like I said, just for May and June. We never know what's going to happen in this crazy world that we're currently living in. But again, everything's going to be published on the town website and across the social medias and printed for residents. So any questions or concerns regarding the calendar, events program?
No, I think it's prudent on your behalf to go with shorter time frames for advertising programs, because like I said last week, I got my hand where I would sign checks giving refunds for people who were signed up for things over the long term that we ended up having to cancel because of COVID. So, the biggest problem is that we're canceling things, obviously, but there's a cost associated with that, with having to process checks and staff doing all that work. But so any way we can limit that as much as possible and still be able to provide the programs, that's good work. Thank you.
Can I just ask for something to go back, and it's been brought to my attention, and I thought actually that it was in the process of being fixed last year, but maybe with COVID. But and I don't really know what the proper name, but it's the covers for the adapters in the multipurpose room.
Oh, the floor. Yeah, I know.
That floor.
Yeah.
And that was something that was going to be corrected last year, and Danny is aware of it. And it seems like it's back there again now, that there's different things that I go there for. And if somebody, it's been identified as a safety issue, and if somebody is going along down there, and if they stumble on that, not look at where they're going, because I know the night that we had, maybe it was the Silver Spades Award, somebody went up to get their award and walked on one of them, right? Okay. So I think that's like really, they should be really corrected. It came to my attention when they were having the Lancers, trying to find a place for the Lancers to practice, and they couldn't do anything like that in there. And then I, for one, went back there again, and we had line dancing there. And it's not a place that, it's a liability. It's an accident waiting to happen. So I'd just like to get it put back on the forefront again.
Okay.
Okay?
Thank you for the feedback.
You know what she's talking about, Jeff?
I know, yes.
Okay, all right, thank you. All right, any other questions, Councillor Rose? Can you turn on your microphone, please? I got 2 texts saying, tell Peggy to turn on the microphone.
Okay. Thank you. I don't even know what it was about now. But it was about, let me see. Can't remember.
Something to do with the calendar for programs?
I lost it just like that. Huh?
All right.
Okay,
If
sorry.
it comes back to you, let me know.
Yes, I will.
Right.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right, Councillor
Okay.
Glenn, thank you, you're done.
A couple more things. We talked about the climbing wall is now officially open. Getting lots of really good positive reviews on that. Dance class registrations are down, but we're going to keep on promoting that. We had several virtual events that were all very positively done. We've got some dental hygiene videos that were released this month as part of April is Dental Hygiene Month. Earth Day, which we already talked about, and field rentals are going to start up again this year, and hopefully everything's going to go smooth. I probably should talk to this just briefly. The special events coordinator is working with leagues on scheduling, including team insurance, return to place admissions, and for COVID-19 protocols and public health guidelines. And this is really important. Everyone who's listening, spread this around. We really want to get our sports back on the go. We really need to make sure that we do it in a safe way that is in line with all the protocols and public health guidelines. Last thing we want to do is go forward with this and try to get people out there again, and then for whatever reason, for some guideline not to be, or some protocol not to be followed, and then we get a circuit breaker, right? And then it will look badly on I guess the town and everything. So what we're going to do is to just remind everyone, we are actually going to take a step to install some signage and make sure it's all, make sure it's the top of everyone's mind who participates in sports on our fields that, COVID guidelines are in place and have to be adhered to, right?
Yep.
We had a request for community center rentals. Basically, as it related to the rental, we checked with provincial government guidelines, and staff reached out to public health for further information and feedback. Basically, I think we're going to have to turn down a rental. There was a request for after-school programming. A request has been received to run an after-school program in the fall, and can't see any reasons why not to at this time. So we're going to entertain it. Summer camp is fast approaching again. Deadlines for applications for summer camp positions was April 13th. And again, we're going to follow the same playbook as last year. It's a specialized COVID themed, I shouldn't say COVID themed, but COVID modified program. We're going to go with an 8-week program, 20 children per week, and we're basically going to ask that kids basically avail of only 2 weeks of program per. Again, we just want to get as many kids as we can out there for at least a short amount of time. So the ages are going to be between 5 and 12 this year. Other business, we also briefly talked about the Kennedy's Brook Amendment, and again, I just want to thank Councillor Martin for taking time during that kind of off committee. It is park related, just to provide the or to ensure and follow through on providing the details necessary to make that land swap a success. So thank you very much. And what else do we have here? Oh yes, and also with regards to the Torbay Common Facility, basically it's suggested once the new director is in place to include facilities a section on the Recreation Committee agendas going forward. So we're going to have a special section here just for questions and concerns regarding to the facility, specifically, kind of like the covers for the adapters here and stuff like that. So we're going to make sure that we keep a closer official eye on all things rec center.
Okay.
And yeah, we adjourned in 1 hour and 5 minutes.
All right. Any additional questions?
Yes, me.
Councillor Roach?
It came back to me. While you were talking there about the COVID and having to, can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. It came back to me. So anyway, is there any way that we can be apply for, or is there a system out there that we can be, to help us recover our losses because of the COVID cancellations that were ordered by the provincial government? And, we have to do that because, it's great to do it, but all the municipalities are in the same boat. We all got, our nice little things we just built and everything like that, and now we're suffering because of nobody's fault, only the COVID. And I don't know if there's a little pocket of money in either federal government or provincial government under, health and whatever like that, or under sports and whatever like that, recreation.
We did receive some funds.
Do we?
In the COVID Safe Restart Fund that came out from the federal government.
Okay.
That would have been,
That was
we used that
in
in our budget.
It was in December, $464,000.
So we got that money and we used it to help balance our budget.
Okay, so can we do it again?
Which kind of offset some of those losses that we had incurred
Yes.
because our building wasn't open.
Yeah.
So I don't know, I never seen the federal budget.
Is there
yet
anything
today.
else out there,
Well, we're always looking for
So that's good.
opportunities.
That's good. That's what I wanted to know, because, you never know where you might get a little bit of a helping there, and every little bit counts.
I know staff are always looking at different types of grants and things that are available for 50 plus and other
Yeah.
organizations and things, so.
Thank you very much. Just
you're
wanted
welcome.
to add that.
All right.
Okay, thank you.
Good, you done? All right. Liaison committees, Atlantic Mayor's Conference. I already don't have anything to report except for, I keep forgetting to put my motion in the council package, and I will put it in there for the next meeting. I'm giving you notice now, because we're supposed to be hosting that thing in a couple of weeks, so we need to rescind that motion, because obviously we cancel it, the Atlantic
did.
Mayors Congress cancel it, and put forward a new motion to host in May 2022. So I'll bring that forward next meeting. And can you please make a note of that? All right, thank you, because I keep forgetting. Intergovernmental affairs, provincial, municipal. Well, I would assume in short order, we're going to be getting a new provincial budget, so we'll all keep our eyes on that. I know that through M&L, we'll be doing our advocating for municipalities on what we think the budget should contain, and you know, it's, I guess, our job too, as members of this council, if we see anything that we feel should be, we can always write in and address and ask for those things for our town anyway, for sure. Jack Burn Arena, Tony, anything?
Nothing to report at this time, Your Worship, where we do have a meeting scheduled for this Thursday night, so we should have some update for the next meeting for sure.
All right, thank you, sir. Northeast Avalon Joint Council, Councillor Thorngass.
I got the last minutes and the agenda and what have you in there. One of the topics that came up at second last meeting was, I guess, an update on the St. John's water study. And Mayor Breen sent an email, because there was a number of people around the table that were looking for it. And a copy of it is attached in there tonight to the agenda and what have you. And I think that that's really worth, I guess, the public knowing that this is something ongoing, and that the consultant remains on schedule to provide the final report by the end of February 2022. So, because from time to time we all get inquiries about what's happening with our water supply, and especially what's going on with the city. So there's a pretty detailed report attached in there.
Right on. Thank you. Yeah, I read that. It was basically almost identical to the
From your
update
one
they
that
gave
you
me
gave?
back in, was December, I think. I got it from him, and I shared it
Okay.
with council, but yes, it's good to see that they're at least moving forward on that,
Yeah.
and see where it's gonna go. And to your point, it just shows how long it takes to get these studies done on a body of water. It's not as simple as looking at it and saying, but that's a nice looking pond, we should be able to use that, but there's a lot more technical and environmental issues around that, so. All right, thank you.
Okay.
RNC, I suspect we'll be having another meeting of our traffic committee, policing committee soon. I'll probably reach out tomorrow or next day and see where we're to with that. Usually we meet quarterly, and it must be almost a quarter now. Director, since you went to the last meeting, I'm thinking, the time just seems to fly, so it's really hard to keep track.
If something comes up on that meeting,
Yeah.
before or in between like a council meeting, we have a representation from the RCMP attend the Northeast Avalon Joint Council, and they just listen in and give a report on how many tickets or what's happening in the communities. And it would be nice if we could get somebody for the remaining communities for the RNC, and maybe there's somebody that could just hook up for a few minutes, because they actually join the meetings, staff sergeant and superintendent
Okay.
from the RCMP.
Yeah.
And if we could have somebody from the RNC do the same thing, might be worth asking if they could, because
You mean come down here and?
No, join the Northeast Avalon Joint Council meetings
Oh,
once a
okay,
month.
all right.
They have regular updates from two
Okay,
people.
Yeah, that's pretty good, because there's multiple of these traffic committees. We
Yeah.
have one for the Killy Coast area. Then there's another one that St. John's, Mount Pearl, and Paradise and CBS are involved in that one.
Yeah.
Probably a bigger
But
one.
it's
And
good.
then I know that Petty Harbor and Holyrood were part of the original group when we
Yeah.
went first. And so they probably got their own committee as well, so that's a good point.
Be
So
nice
maybe-
to have them.
Yeah.
It only takes like 5 or 10 minutes. They only just need to call in
Right on.
while they're on the
You
agenda,
know what
and
I'll
then they
do?
can go on there.
I'll forward you the contact information
Yeah.
for the committee that we have.
Yeah.
It's the same RNC officers that represent everybody, and then you can reach out to them
Yeah,
on
okay,
behalf of
perfect.
the Northeast Avalon Joint Council.
All right, good.
All right, perfect, thank you. Torbay Volunteer Fire Department, Councilor Martin.
Thank you. I didn't get to the meeting last week due to committee of the whole business here, so I'll make an effort to attend next week if we can get out here. If you can get me out here in time.
No problem. We'll see what we can do.
Thank you.
UMC, there's, I don't really have an update. And can you make a note to remind me to add the UMC minutes that I have to the next council package, please? I was intending to do that and I forgot. Sorry. Been busy, but I will do that. And I know now that I told Ann to remind me that she'll definitely do it. All right, no notice of motion. Well, I just gave one, but we'll see what happens. New business. Let's go back this way. Councillor Martin.
I was a pass.
Oh, right on.
If I had known I was first, I would have had something.
Councillor Roach.
I'd like to thank all our volunteers too, especially I've been one for many years and I know it's all about. And I'd like to be part of that planting the trees if you like. I still remember bringing my children from school and doing it around Windsor Lake when they were doing the same thing. Now I'll do it with you. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Councillor Torgas.
I'd just like to say thanks, congratulations, and whatever else to Eddie Brennan, who will be
Oh,
retiring.
yes, yeah.
Oh, he's retiring, is he?
Who will be retiring the end of the month. And I guess as long as I've been around, he's been around and working down there. He'll be missed, and I just wish him all the best in his retirement. So hard to believe. I've heard for so long that he was thinking about going, but to know that it's actually here. So all the best to him, and thank you very much for your service.
Be nice if we did something special for him, because I mean, it's been a fixture.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
All right, Councillor Pollard. Oh, right. Councillor Glant.
I certainly concur with the thanking of all the volunteers and Mr. Brennan after retirement. But the actual thanks I wanted to do this week, and I'm going to extend it a little bit. I want to extend it to all the council. This is not a shortest meeting we ever had, and certainly not the least controversial we've ever had either. But I think it's actually a good example of, hey, talked about some controversial stuff, did it respectfully, had a little back and forth, followed some details. I thought this was a really, really good meeting. I think this is the way council meetings are supposed to be. So I just want to thank everyone for listening, giving their points of view, and this is a good example of us working together and getting stuff done. I thought it was a really good meeting. So thank you everyone for your reasonability tonight.
Thanks. I just got a thanks. I just want to say thank you to council and staff, and for another 2 weeks of working hard and doing your jobs and dealing with this pandemic is not easy, and it's taxing on everybody, and just be kind to each other and continue on, and we'll be good. We'll be okay. And also, I will be sending a letter to Ed, thanking him for the work that he's done, as I do with staff leaving. So I congratulate him on his retirement and thank him for so many years of service. And I'll be sure that I'll be doing that in writing, and then I'll copy council on that. All right. Q&A. So I got a question. Let's see.
Well, you're looking up that, can I just ask the question, like for somebody, and I know we don't, and you'll go back and we say, well, we've done this in the past or whatever.
Yep.
But I think when somebody is around for as long as what he's been around, continuously, he was one of the original people that I can remember being there, except for ones that are retired and really long gone. But with regards of presenting them something from council or doing something, I think in most places that I've ever worked, there's always been some kind of a recognition that comes. I know that the staff, and they probably end up doing something, but I think it's a nice gesture at the end of the day, even though we may not have done it in the past, but that's nothing to say that we can't start doing it in the future to do something for somebody that's retiring.
Bring him in and
I
give
agree,
him a plaque
and
or something like
to
that,
your point, We've had three long-term employees have left the town this year, two to retirement, and one that went somewhere else. And I've already thought about that, about doing something. The pandemic itself poses some issues with us trying to do something that's worthy of that recognition, but I think that we can do something, and I was, you know.
I brought it up when we had somebody else retire a while back, and
Yeah.
then that came in the midst of the COVID-19, but I think
Right.
like even the way that we're set up now, it would be fine to be able to bring somebody in and just to thank them for their, because there's nothing is more deserving, and it means a lot. It might be the little things, but that's what means a lot.
Yep, no, I agree with you totally. And we'll have a chat about that, figure out what we can do. All right, so I got a question here from Madeline Florent. Can the mayor or Council Power walk us through the Common Enhancements Project page? I'm not sure I'm reading this page correctly, but if it looks like we're expecting the capital program to raise $1.5 million. So far, we've only raised $89,921, which leaves a substantial shortfall to date. Is that correct? And what more are we expecting from the capital campaign to contribute to this project? What are the timelines for the remaining time left in the campaign? Thank you. I don't know that I can answer that question as probably specific as you're looking for. That webpage, I'm not sure. I haven't looked at it lately. I'm not sure if it's been updated or if it hasn't been. I do know that we are waiting to have a meeting with Pilot, who were the people who are doing the capital campaign project, to go over it and finalize it and close it out, and then we'll see where we're to from there. Once that's done, then we'll certainly report back to council and to the public about how that worked and what worked, what didn't work, and how successful or unsuccessful it was. So I don't think I can be any more specific than that right now, because as you would know, Councillor Thorngoss already mentioned the fact that we're trying to get a meeting with them now, and I hate to use this as an excuse, but it's not really an excuse. With this pandemic, it's really difficult to try and get together with people and have a meeting, and it's not always easy to do it through Zoom. I know we can, and I've had hundreds of Zoom meetings over this last year, and I'm pretty zoomed out. But I know that, Madeline, that probably doesn't really answer your question. Maybe a little bit with regard to the website, I'm not sure about, but we are going to be providing an update back on that project at some point, hopefully in the not too distant future. And I don't have any more questions. So, where is my agenda? Here it is. Our next public council meeting is scheduled to take place Monday, May 3rd, 2021 at 6:30 right here in our council chambers in the town of Torbay. And with that, I would ask for a motion to adjourn, please.
So moved.
Second.
Moved and seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed?